Metroid Dread, we clearly recognize when something cannot be parried, and you can't parry that. It's just, it's not like that right now.
Yep. Alright, so it is 3:30, so I'm going to officially call this stream started. Thank you to Kensa for being here. And thank you to everybody who is in the stream right now. And today, instead of continuing with Sonic Adventure, people on my Twitter, I made a poll for it, and I asked them, would you like to see more Sonic Adventure, or would you like to see me making something in Blender? And let me actually check that poll quick to get some stats. It still has 6 minutes left, but 55% of people said they wanted Blender, 44% said Adventure, so Blender won the poll. So that's what I'm doing today. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll already know this, but let me switch this here. I said I was going to be making a model of this, which is E-105 Zeta, the upgraded form that is the boss fight you have with Gamma in Sonic Adventure 1. But I'm not going to be recreating this as it appeared in the game, because while I was looking up reference material for the E-100 robots, because I've been in the mood to model them recently, I also remembered that this is a robot that exists in Sonic. So first of all, let me check the chat here. Can y'all see this?
Yes.
I'll check. You can see it? Alright, so I'm going to assume everybody can. I can't see the chat right now because of the way I had to set this up, but like, you look at this thing's head, and it's very obvious it's inspired by the E-100 robots. And its arms, I think, are sort of reminiscent of Beta Mark II, the final boss of Gamma Story. Now, I have these references that I took from the Sonic Wiki. So I'm going to be going for something a little more like this, but I am going to try and keep some of the original design elements from Zeta. The main thing being the color, and if I can figure out how, I definitely have to incorporate the Dreamcast reference, because this thing has little textures of Dreamcasts on its body. I don't know if you could see that in this picture, but that's it right there. And these little flying things that it uses to attack you. So yeah, it's going to have the purple color scheme, but it's probably going to end up looking a little something like this. Now if I switch to Blender... Okay, you all should be able to see that pretty soon here.
Square.
Yep. Okay, so get rid of the lamp, get rid of the camera, and as Blender tradition states, delete the default cube, add it back in. I have my tooltips enabled. I have an add-on for that, so I should hopefully not need to explain what keys I am pressing, because it should be able to tell you what I am pressing as I am pressing it. If it's Blender specific. Yep, so that's all as it should be. Actually, can I make that bigger? It might be hard for some people to see. Make that bigger. Make that bigger. There. If that becomes distracting for people, I will change it. Also, could I ask you a favor, Kensa, since I have to do this in a specific way? I can't see the chat. So if people are saying things in the chat, could you let me know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I got you.
And if you have to leave at any point, that's okay. I should be able to switch between here and the Twitch stream to be able to see my own chat. I should get a second monitor at some point. Alright, but... So I actually don't think I'm going to be... Actually, I'll keep the cube for... Oh. I'll keep the cube for now, because I use that as a scale thing, because I believe this cube, the default cube, is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. Which is roughly how tall I have my current Sonic model. So I'll use it as a way to give me a sense of how big I want this robot to be. And if anybody has played Sonic 06 or has seen gameplay of it, you know the Egg Genesis is big. And even within Sonic Adventure, Zeta itself was like a pretty big robot. So, go to my... Can you guys see me opening this folder, by the way, to load my reference images in?
No.
No, it's just showing the Blender screen, because that technically pops up as a separate window, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I should probably turn Snap to Grid off. I don't need that anymore. Okay, and then image background. what I'm doing right now is getting my reference images in, which should be obvious. And I have them showing up as something you can only see when I go into orthographic view, which I do by hitting numpad 1. And then what I will do with these is offset them slightly so that they don't intersect with my model, duplicate them, rotate 90 degrees, align them there, and now I'll be able to see them in my front and side view. And I could load in more reference images later, but I think for now, keep the cube here as scale. I'm going to do select all my references, hit M, new collection, refs, just so that if I wanted to disable all of them with a single button, I can do that. Keep things all nice and organized. Rename the cube as scale. Go to my filters, enable selectability, and turn it off for that. So now I cannot select the cube. Should probably do that with my refs too. I don't need to be able to select my refs. Okay. Hit save. I already have the save file properly named here, so I'll just be hitting Control S. Alright, anything in the chat so far?
Currently, no.
Not right now? Alright. If anybody has any questions about this or any other model, I'll be happy to answer them. So don't let me just keep rambling as I explain away what's going on here. But I'm going to do a cylinder, go to my object properties and reduce that to 8 sides. Edit mode instead of object mode, and move that maybe like right there, make it bigger, narrower. I think the biggest reason why I wanted to make this right now though is because we saw that giant like robot thing at the end of the last Forces gameplay showcase, and I was just like thinking, like, this is not an incredible design, but I do like it a lot more than that big enemy we saw in Frontiers. And I think that the way you took that boss down in Frontiers would fit for something like this as well.
Yeah.
But I'm incorporating designs from Zeta just because I like the purple color scheme and the like sort of design aesthetic that the E-100 series robots had in Adventure. Okay, this is gonna be the body, I think. I might actually duplicate that with Control D, move it up, and then that'll roughly be its head. We do shade smooth. Okay, object properties, normals to auto smooth, normals to auto smooth. That'll make sense later. So we got the body, we got that. Now since the body is, everything is like the same on all 4 sides, I am going to try something I haven't done very often, but should still hopefully work. Get these vertices and these vertices, delete them, so we only have one side here. Go to my modifiers tab, mirror, that's it on that side, and then on that side. Now any change I make should be reflected in all of them. Now let me start renaming these. This is going to be Zeta, whoop, turn my caps lock off, Zeta body, and then this is going to be Zeta head. Alright, let me fill up this hole quick. I'll hide the head. I'll turn snap to grid back on for this. Make sure clipping is on in the modifier. Bring those together. Bring those together. And select these vertices and seal them up. I think I have duplicate faces in the center there. I need to figure out how to fix that. Are they edges? They're edges, okay. So if I do that, no, that didn't fix it. That made it worse. Edges, there we go. Now it's how I want it to look. I don't know how that happened. Somehow those edges got duplicated. Alright, to the bottom. E to extrude, Y to go on that axis, pull them until they touch. Same thing over here, E to extrude, G to move, X, oops, wait, G to move, X on the X-axis, pull them until they touch. Oh, that's why it wasn't working. Let me try merge by distance. No, merge at center. There's two vertices there, I think, is the issue. They're not like joining, I can't figure out why. Oh, there's no vertice there. No, there is. Merge by distance. Now there should be one vertice there. Yes, there is. Okay, filled that up. Add a little bit more geometry around the side here. Bring faces in. Not like that. E, not I. Scale it down. Wireframe so I can see through it. Scale it down so it's about the same size for consistency. Go back to my modifiers and add subsurface. Bump that up a little bit. Bump that up to 2 for the viewport. Now, okay, now I have my basic shape made. I think, let me bring the head back in. Bring this in because it's not as flat in this one as it is in this one. Alright, let's see, what should I do next? Let me build out the body a little bit here. E to extrude, let me turn snap to grid off, don't want that. And then extrude again. Alt E along normals, extrude that out. Bring that down some. That's kind of the shape I want. Go to edge select, select these edges, control or shift E, bring them in and tighten them up so it looks like it's a separate piece, but it's still part of the same mesh. Okay, let's see here. I might probably just recreate the light that the Egg Genesis has on the bottom of it for here. Now I will use an add-on I have, loop tools, to make sure everything is in perfect circles, so I might do that along most of this just to make sure it's all nice and round. Oops, that's the wrong one. Control, circle. Yeah, something got stretched here while I was working this out. I don't know how that happened, but it looks like the rest of these are circles. And then make the bottom of this a circle too. Make sure it's a circle still. Must be the way the mirror modifier is working. Maybe tighten that seam. Now it's got the light on the bottom, and I can add the like mechanical detail in later. Just getting the shapes all out right now. Okay. Alright, I think I am going to try to build out the detail for the base of the arms and the legs now. So Shift S, cursor gets selected, so I can bring that there. And then it'll pop my new mesh right there. Should be able to turn this 45 like that. Shade smooth so they're not all weird looking. Okay. Now let me look at my other refs here quick. They are hinges mounted to the body, so maybe I will pull these out some. Try to blend this into the mesh better so it looks more deliberate. Control B to bevel. Add that little bit of geometry there. And it should be, yep, to all sides. Subdivide this. Right click, subdivide. And I'm gonna bring it down slightly. bring this up slightly. Bring this up slightly. I am trying to line these up so that this will look as neat as possible when I join them. Okay, I need a little bit more geometry in there. How's that looking? Alright. Delete that and that. Not that button. Vertices. Okay, let me bring the size on this one down slightly. Turn that off. Now with loop tools again, I will bridge them. Let me make sure that is enabled. Okay, now I have something that I can now mold into the base of this thing's arms. Maybe add a bit more separation in there so it doesn't look like it's like made out of clay, right? Alright, let me take a moment. Check the chat. Okay. Is this informative to you?
Yes.
I should not just completely ignore the fact that I do have you here. I just... Like, if you at any point have anything to say, feel free to interrupt me.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm just watching.
Mm-hmm. This isn't character modeling, which I definitely feel, like, more comfortable with doing, but, like... I want to try getting better at, like, robot modeling, so that's kind of why... I think that's probably the biggest reason why I've been on this, like, quest to model all the E-100 robots. Okay, I'm trying to think about what I want this shape to look like right now. And this music is not doing it for me right now, so I am going to pick something else. Something that won't get me copyright striked. I'll do the Team Sonic Racing soundtrack. Sure, we'll do this one. No, skip that, skip that, skip that. Here. Hello?
Yoimi.
Oh no, it's Doodle Bob. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the lap music.
Alright.
There we go. Now I got music back.
Yay.
I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. Okay, now back to the model. Maybe
What are you working on? Where is it?
check the Twitch stream to be able to see it. But it's Zeta from Sonic Adventure 2, or Sonic Adventure 1. Subdivide. Make
I
it
can
bigger.
just find where that is. That'd be great.
It's a Eggman robot. That's not the right one. How about local? No, that's not gonna work. The challenge I am currently facing is that doing some like actions at a 45-degree angle like this, like scaling on X and Y isn't gonna work the way I want it to, so
Okay.
yep, so that's why I'm like not actually doing anything at the moment. But if I bring that like that, that should be a decent substitute for scaling on those axes. Bring these down. Oh, what happened there? Oh, I selected an extra face, that's what.
There we are. Ooh. That's like a good start.
Yep. Let's see if we can bring these all the way down just to get their proportions and shape. Scale that a little bit. Get a sense of where the legs are going to be. Okay, yeah.
Noticed your VTuber icon was like a green version of Knuckles. That's great.
It's because it is. Because I don't have any V2 or PNG tuber art at the moment, so I'm using this.
Well, this will be a great. It's a great replacement until then.
Yep.
I like this Chronicle Knuckles work.
The music's a little too loud. I think I'm gonna turn that down for just a little bit.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's better. Alright, so, I think maybe these arms need to be bigger. Just in general. And then pull them out a little farther. Okay, there we go. And since you just came in, the little cube I have down there is just so I know what scale I'm in. That cube is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, which I don't know how tall that makes this thing. If y'all want to count those squares, be my guest. I don't go by strict measurements necessarily when making something like this. I just kind of go by what I feel makes sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Bring you down.
Although I will say, the whole scaling thing.
Yeah.
I never really care for scaling that much, or at least I don't. So, I mean, I do a little bit, but not so much. I do remember though, when I made models for Source, I had to make everything way larger than it probably would have been.
Yeah.
If there were anything else, because Source is weird like that.
Yep.
I don't know why.
I don't miss making models in Source. I like just making the model and then rendering it in the same thing.
Yeah.
Alright, are those too far out? No, those will be fine, I think. Okay. Alright, let me try now. No, that's not gonna work. Try to find ways I can start maybe bringing in a little more detail. I think what I should do right now is work on the head, which I'm going to mirror modify that differently. Use wireframe to see through so I can select all of that. Delete the vertices until there's only half the mesh left. Go to my modifiers to mirror that only on the x-axis this time. Subsurf. Bump that up. Make sure they're both visible in edit mode. Now it's a much nicer cylinder. I think I'm gonna keep... I don't know, because I guess it fits the E-100 robots more if the head is like the same same rounded shape.
Yeah, like
But
rounded in the back, and that sort of.
This head is way bigger than the rest of the E-100 robots, so it would make sense for it to be a little different. I think I'm gonna make it a bit more like the Egg Genesis than like E-104 is in Sonic Adventure. Okay. Do that. Control R to put the vertice there. F to make the vertices connect. And then F to make them into faces. And then Control E to bring that back up. Maybe a little rounded. I might leave it a little rounded. Control R for edge loop. I want more than that. Scroll to get more edge loops. Okay, and then the head is like inset into it. Let me see how this ends up looking. That's not bad. I'll turn snap to grid off again. S and then Y to flatten it. Pull it in. Squeeze it in. Maybe, yeah, there we go. Maybe pinch that so you can see it, the bottom edge of it. Pull it out. Rotate it so it's rounder. Maybe I need to raise the whole head up slightly. It's hard to like explain why I'm doing some of these things most of the time, because I think it's like I've said before, I go by what feels right, not by any strict set of steps. Yeah. So
yeah,
let's see.
I get you.
Okay.
Like at the end of the day, as long as it looks right, then you know that's. The
I'm
whole
not
idea.
strictly trying to recreate either design here. I'm trying to do a mix of them both. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, maybe if
I actually remember a long time ago I tried doing an E-100 gamma model of my own, just to try something out.
Yep.
I don't think I ever finished it though, because I was like, back when I was still like kind of inexperienced with modeling, I didn't really, wasn't really as good at it, so I just kind of stopped. But yeah, it was fun though. It helped me
That's
learn a
good.
few things.
Oh, that's not gonna work. Gotta do it like that. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Because it has this like detail in here, I want to leave the space for that to like exist. Okay. This might not look pretty, but I'll give it a try. Oop, not all of the edges, just the outer ones. Would help if I was in edge mode and not face mode. Circle. Well, that might work. Alright, I think the problem I am currently now having is that the inner space in the head isn't wide enough, so I need to figure out how to adjust that while still keeping the roundness and not changing it too much. Maybe make the eyes smaller. Maybe flatten that. Oh, missed a couple faces. Now flatten it. Maybe it's because this looks like too nose-like. De-nose this panel here.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
Eggman's robots were designed to kill, not to sniff things.
Feet detected. Must sniff. Hold on. Yep. Feet detected.
Actually, that might
must
be a
sniff.
track down Sonic, but that's a whole other thing.
Alright, let's get that curse shit out of here. Oh, maybe if I do it like that. That looks more like a faceplate than a nose, which is what I'm going for. Maybe if I pull those like that, turn that off. No, leave that on. That and that? No, that one. Maybe. Oh, these edges in the back need to be tightened up too. I don't know exactly what me doing Shift E to these like edges is doing, like the technical term for it, but when you're in subsurf mode, it tightens them up and I guess creases them more. So maybe what happens if I do that?
Yeah, maybe it makes them less rounded.
Yeah, and
That's my best guess.
I choose which edges to harden up so that I have some roundness where I want it. Maybe if I tighten those vertices, might. Okay, that's better. Let me look at my ref again. Maybe if I bring these in slightly. I guess these are a little too far out to bring that down. No, need that too. Bring that down. No. This is like one of the few instances where I just try to mimic the way it looks in the ref, just because if I try doing it too differently, it's not going to have the feeling that I want.
Right.
That's better. Tighten that up. Maybe if I just tighten the top edges of this. No, leave it round. Okay. Let me go back to the eyes for a second here and get the base shape there so that they're a little easier to see without their textures. Take the edge off of that. Okay. Maybe if I add another edge here, crease it, pull it forward. That's better. Alright, it still needs work for sure. I'm gonna step
Good
back
start,
for a second to think about how this is looking. I actually have to get up for a second. I've just been informed there's a package downstairs, so I will be right back.
All right. So, Mr. Kinsako, how would you like to fill the dead air this evening?
How would I like to what?
How would you like to fill the dead air this evening?
I'm liking how the model's going, and I like the Sonic Chronicles Knuckles green PNG that we see here. I think it's very
Oh,
pretty.
that is beautiful.
And
Why would he need a new VTuber icon when he has that ready to go?
yeah, green Knuckles is perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. That was quick.
Yep. I didn't need to grab it or anything. It was just sitting there.
Neat.
It's not for me. I didn't need to open it. Excuse me. All right. Maybe it's just this thing sticks out too far. Maybe that's why it doesn't look the best.
Maybe. I'll say this: the rest of the head does seem a smidge thick.
Yeah. I thought maybe it needed more volume on the top. Maybe give a bit of a curve there might help a little bit. Pull that back. Maybe I'll select the whole thing with L to select linked. I'm going to deselect the eyes because I don't want to mess with their geometry too much, because I don't want to have to keep resetting their circles every time I make changes to the whole head. Select everything around them that isn't them. I'm going to squash everything down slightly on the Z-axis. That's too thin. Maybe I should do it a little more like the Egg Genesis. Make these bigger and bring them closer together. Pull them in, make them bigger. Okay, that I think immediately helped quite a bit. Maybe pull this back. No, that's gonna... That's a little better. Just to give it a bit more of a frame, I guess. Maybe pull this up slightly. Pull it back. Because it does sort of resemble the, like, brim that the E-100 robots have. Maybe I could just pull all of this out and, like, really exemplify that. Okay, that I think is what it was missing. Double R to free rotate. Now it looks like even more like a E-100 robot.
Yeah.
Maybe add a little bit. Whoop. Go this way. No, that's not gonna work. Just the one brim should be enough. He got the Yankee with no brim.
Beautiful.
Maybe tighten that. That's better. Okay. Maybe pull this in. Give it some body. Pull that down. Make it a little thicker. brings it back into the main body a bit more. If I do it like that. And then bring those. Okay. Nope, not that one. That one. No, leave that soft, I think. Bring the other one over here. No, that's not working. Maybe don't do that. I need to be careful with my experimental decisions because I think the max amount of undos I can do on a file is 30. So I can only undo 30 actions at a time. So I want to decide. I need to decide within a pretty tight window if I want to keep whatever idea I have or abandon it, because I might be stuck with part of it and it'll be much harder to get rid of if it's like a real serious change to the mesh.
Right.
Okay, I think maybe if I just... It's because this here is like open. That might be why it's not blending the way I want it to.
So is 30 undos the default in Blender, or is that just something you set?
Is what?
Is 30 undos the default in Blender? Like how many undos you can have?
Oh, the default is less than that, I think. The maximum is 30. Because I'm an indecisive bitch,
okay.
I put it all the way to the max, yeah. So I'm always like...
I need to figure out how to change it on my end.
I don't remember. It's in the preferences, I know that much. Okay, I think I did that wrong. There are 3 faces here. Okay. Do it like that first. Connect that one. Man, I'm really making myself look like an amateur right now.
It's okay, we're all amateurs here.
Well, it's like, I don't want people coming into this stream thinking I'm like an expert at this. I'm really not. So like, that's why I keep doing weird things that don't seem to make a whole lot of sense. It's because I'm experimenting and trying to figure out what works best for everything. No, I need to have that closer. Maybe this edge doesn't need to be here.
I need to be right back really quick.
Yep. Okay. I will go back to the rest of the body shortly, but I feel like I have some semblance of direction with the head right now, so that's why I'm focusing on it. Now I need to step back and think again. Okay. Let me try adding those bolts that are on this part of it in the egg genesis. And they are bolts. They got the little thing going through them. Now, K for knife tool. Select those vertices. Now if I bevel it, no. I think I'll just do something that isn't a bolt for this, that it won't look so weird. Something like that. And then I should be able to do Control Shift B to make these be, oh shit, make these be his like red center eyes. Wrong button again. Pull these and then pull them. There we go. Okay. Tighten the edges. Now it's looking like a E-100 robot.
Slowly but surely.
I'm going to change that back to local, set my pivot point to individual origins so I can scale them individually. Bring them in. Welcome back. Circle modifier. Pull them forward. Take the edge off. Okay, now we've got a bit of, I guess you can call this face detail. I think for now, save of course, I'm going to go back to the body. Maybe I'll detail the legs themselves first and then worry about how they connect to like the rest of the body. Give it that nice. The shape of these legs definitely reminds me of like the Gundam Mark II's shield, if any of y'all know what that looks like. Add loop cuts here. And so did like the shield arms that Beta Mark II had in Sonic Adventure. I gotta get to that point in my own playthrough of Sonic Adventure so y'all can see that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, that looks nice.
Okay.
I just looked up the Mark II shield, and yeah, I think that would work really well for this.
But like, I only think that because the Egg Genesis like already kind of has that look to it, you know. Maybe round it some.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. So I'm just kind of like channeling that some. I'm making it a little narrower right now, and like the bottoms of its like feet, I guess, are pretty flat. Try to get that shape going here. I think I should flatten this some and then pull the middle forward like I originally thought. Oh, normal. Yeah, there we go. Flatten that. Interesting. I don't know why it flattened it at an angle like that. Okay. It's the difficult part when you're doing it in like at an angle like this. There's no way to do it like that. I think in the long run this should be easier though.
Right.
Maybe I'll just leave it like that for now. It's just this rounding in the middle here, and this like spot here is bothering me. Maybe if I make these bigger again, that'll fix that some. And pull these vertices out. Also, if I'm selecting stuff like over here, it's because it's the opposite side of this that I can't see. But since it's being mirrored, I can select it anywhere and it'll apply it to every like iteration of the loop. Yep.
Nice.
Okay. Maybe. Okay, it gets like thicker right here, I think. So. Okay, and then pull them out. Like that, like that. Okay, we're getting that shape down. This needs to be more blocky than it is. Okay, there we go. Now we've got a bit more of a mechanical shape going. That's smaller. There's a weird hump right here. What if I do it like that? Okay, that's better. What if I tighten that edge, bring it up Maybe if I tighten that some? No. Trying to define the like harsher angles that these like this like design has.
Right.
Yep. Okay, that's better. Okay. Now, I don't know if y'all saw it when I was scrolling through. Maybe I should add another reference image here so we can see the insides of these. The insides of these a little better.
Shield.
The like legs. It doesn't walk on these in Sonic 06.
Oh,
This
no.
thing flies the whole time, but they're basically legs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And those like things that open, they deploy like more robots for you to fight.
Yeah.
But I had a different thing in mind for this version of the design, since in Sonic Adventure it has these things that it deploys that are like part of itself, I guess. Whereas this one just deployed generic robots. Or I guess maybe I could figure out some like way it could do both. But I think I'm gonna start bringing out some detail on the legs. I don't know if I want to include these missile shooters, because that would be a interesting number of vertices to work with, but I can maybe add a bit more geometry to this. No, don't do that. Maybe pull the whole thing forward. That might fix some of the shaping issues. Okay, I have a bit more geometry to work with. How do I... There's supposed to be some way I can see how many vertices are in my scene right now, but I'm not as used to this version of Blender as the one that I used to use a whole lot, so... But I think I'm going to try adding a bit more surface detail to these legs. Hold on just a second. Okay, need to think again. I think the back panel on these is too, like, far back, so I might try to just get the back panel selected and pull that in slightly.
Right.
Okay, that should be... And I don't want this selected. This is fine where it is. Let me try this again. Okay. That's a shape that I think I can do a lot better with now. Need to spread these out some so that it's not like all pinched like that. Maybe flattening this whole thing might make it look better. Yeah, it did. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna add that bulk back. Excuse me, but it'll be in a different like form, I guess. I think I'm actually gonna get rid of this and make the attachment point to the rest of it like more substantial. I'm gonna delete these two actually and just reconnect this real quick. Sometimes you have to re-stitch your old vertices back together, but it'll make sense in the end. There we go. Okay, perfectly flat. Now, I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna have that like amount of mass come out and be the thing that connects it to the body. So extrude along normals, pull it out, add a loop here, and crease it. Maybe make these sharper. Flatten the whole thing. Oh, wait. Flatten it. And then maybe pull these edges in there. That's more of a shape I'm looking for. Pull it down. Alright. Now I'm going to have proportional editing turned on, which creates a radius of effect for any changes I make. So my hope with this... Oh, that's not going to work. Alright, what I'm doing here is double tapping G to slide along edges. For some reason you can't proportionally edit with that, so I'll have to do this the manual way, but I'm trying to bring this whole shape down so the curve is more pronounced. This here is still bugging me. I need to figure out how to fix that. This is really annoying. Didn't want to do that. That's better. Now if I try to flatten the whole thing one more time, will it still come out crooked? There we go. I think I got it this time. Yeah. Hitting the wrong button, just ignore me. Ah, shit. Alright, I need to redo that. I grabbed a couple extra faces I didn't mean to. Now that's the shape I'm looking for.
Nice.
Sharpen up these edges some. Pull them down. That's much better. Now I can do what I was trying to do for the past like 10 minutes. Alt S to scale along normals. I don't want those two up there. What if I... Oh, wrong button. Tighten that? No, that looks strange. I think I'll get that shape by extruding off of this face. But I have a much better shape in place now, I think. So let's see. Gotta get into robot design mode now as I try to make up my own bullshit to put on this surface. Right. And not just like detail for the sake of detail, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's an art in and of itself. I think it's probably why making robots is so difficult. It's like, I don't know what this is, I'm just putting it there because that surface was too boring. Just seems to fit. I don't know. Just seems to fit. Maybe I could pull this up. Oh shit, I moved my cursor. I didn't mean to do that. That up, son. And by cursor, I'm referring to this. Blender calls this the cursor. Just, if I say that and it's like... That sounds kind of strange to say like I moved my cursor without meaning to. I'm referring to that.
Right.
Want to give it something that looks like it could be a surface dedicated to touching the ground, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Tighten these up. Just so it looks like it's not just bare metal on the ground. kind of tempted to change the music again, but I need like the right kind of vibe going music-wise to be able to like actually get into making a model like this. So that's why I'm getting stupid picky with the music, because it does like affect how I focus. Just
yeah, I can see that.
That being said, I am going to find different music. Hopefully music that won't get, like, if I try to upload this to YouTube, the whole thing will be muted, right? I don't want that.
No. But then again, it seems like Sonic music has always been...
No, Sonic music is fine. That's just, ironically, not what I want to listen to right now.
Ah, okay.
Where do you think anime music sits in that regard?
Depends on which anime it comes from, I guess.
Cowboy Bebop? Do you think that's gonna get, like, DMCA'd?
I don't know. I think the theme song is gonna get I don't think the...
How about, I'll just...
Maybe the theme song will get you in trouble, but not like background music, I don't think.
I'm gonna take a risk. I'm not gonna play Tank, but I'm just gonna play the show's soundtrack after that, and hopefully we won't have any issues. If I keep talking over it, it should be fine.
Yeah. One other thing I'll suggest: go to if you're grabbing these off YouTube or something.
I'm grabbing them off Spotify.
Look in the description. Oh well.
Yeah, I know what you were gonna say, but yeah, if it gets auto flagged, then that's an issue, right? I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit and have that playing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can I even hear it?
What I was going to say was that on copyrighted stuff that runs the risk of you getting DMCA'd or autoclaimed or whatever. Usually the music or videos with that music in it will have a little thing below the regular description saying, the name, the artist, and a link to the actual music.
It's funny how YouTube has created one of the best, like, music listening and, like, identification bots ever, and they use it to fuck people over.
I know.
It's better than
so
Shazam.
That's awful.
I think that since Google owns them now, they've used that technology in Google. It's like if you go to a Google search on your phone and you, like, hit the microphone button, you now have the option for what song is this? And you can just have it play the music, and it'll tell you what the song is in a couple seconds if it can hear it.
Right, yeah.
So, like, now they're actually, like, using that software in a productive way instead of a destructive way, but it is interesting to me how they had that dangerously accurate music listening, like, bot, and they were just using it to screw people out of money.
It's funny you mentioned Shazam as well. The one time I tried using I used to listen to the radio a lot when I was younger, and there were a lot of songs that came out that I just could not understand the lyrics to because of, like, audio quality or something was overpowering the words or whatever.
Yep.
So I had such a hard time figuring out what songs were which, if I liked them or not. And I tried using Shazam once to try and find one of those songs. And I guess this was back when it wasn't as good and it wasn't owned by Google. And
Shazam is its own thing, by the way. That's not part of Google.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said
No. I was saying the YouTube, like, DMCA fuck you bot is what they're using as a music listening tool now.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
Not Shazam. Shazam, I think, is owned by Snapchat.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
You're fine. Don't worry about it. Again, I don't know what this detail that I'm, like, putting on this thing is. I'm just putting it on there so that it's got a bit more visual interest.
Yeah. Maybe... Well... I don't know. Maybe you can justify it by... Maybe that extra bit of paneling at the front there is, like, stuff that projectiles and stuff could bounce off of to not hurt the shield so much?
Maybe these things deploy anti-sonic beams, or anti-sonic shields.
Yeah.
I might lean into that, actually. Let's see here. if I do something like this, it might actually resemble the I-beam generators from Gundam a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that's actually... Oh, you have to go?
Yeah.
you have to leave? Alright.
Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you very
No
much for
problem.
coming.
No problem.
Yeah.
Peace.
Have a good one.
See you later.
Uh,
I was gonna say, I think that actually kind of ties back into what you were talking about earlier, how it's sort of an art to design machines. It's to the point where you can have all the detail you want, but I think that detail would be much better. It would be better off if someone could actually look at that detail and
tell you
realize
what
that
it all
detail's a
means.
purpose, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
and I am definitely making this up as I go, but... So, like, there's
Right.
no strict plan in mind here with this. Just try to make some interesting looking combination of Zeta and the Egg Genesis.
yeah.
So I'm trying
And I
to
get...
model something that looks like it could, like, emit energy from it, you know? But, like, that's,
Yeah.
like, the first
Yeah.
point of, like, contact for anybody on the ground. You might want to have a shield ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? That might be the big secret to designing robots, where I think a good way to make a decent-looking robot is to have, like, a robot with just enough detail where most of those details, you can tell by looking at them that they're supposed to do something.
I think I am going to try and model these missile pods.
Nice.
There's
Missile
going to
pods are
be
fun.
5 of them instead of... Oh, there is 5 of them there. I thought there was 6. I'm going to model them a little differently than how they appear in Sonic 06, but I think that that's just an interesting, like, bit of detail again, and it's easier to say, like, what this detail means.
Yeah.
Okay, not that edge. Alt-Shift to select edges of things. In this case, I'm using it to select an edge of faces. You just need to make sure you're not hitting, like, that one when you mean to hit that one. It's just which edge it logically follows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tighten those up because I want them to be sort of square-like, but they'll still follow the, like, shape of the shield. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, now back to these. Oh, I'm starting to get lag now. Hell yeah. I'm getting enough vertices that it's starting to be a bit of a problem. I might need to separate these arms from the body just to, like, make it a little easier on my computer, but we'll see what that needs to be, if that ends up being
Yeah, or-
necessary.
Actually, do you have these in an array or something? Because
Yeah,
maybe just
they're
turning
not
off the
in an
saves
array,
them.
but in a mirror modifier, which I guess is
Okay.
functioning very similarly right now.
Alright. Maybe if you don't need to do that trick you did earlier of working on one while looking at another,
Oops.
you could turn the mirror modifier off and save
Oh,
your processing power.
that might be it, yeah. I don't really
Yeah, 'cause
need
it's
that if I'm on the
calculating all
front of
these
the
at once.
object. Because it's
Mhm.
it's trying to load it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we have something that vaguely resembles a missile pod.
Yeah.
Why does this have like a weird... Maybe if I bevel these, it might tighten up that edge even more. Let me give that a try. No, that didn't help at all. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's better. They weren't creased all the way, as it were. Maybe if I make them... Nope, not that. Make them smaller. Now they're creased. That's the... Oh, I'm not selected. I don't have one of them selected. Shit. That might help. Now, because I have auto smooth enabled, that means that anything above a certain angle will either... It's like, I think 30 degrees... More than 30 degrees, it doesn't have a crease. Less than 30 degrees, it does, which is why some edges are appearing smoother than others. It's auto smooth at work. I do generally think that stuff like this looks better with auto smooth on, but it has its quirks, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Now, these things had doors in the original design, but I think they look better being sort of exposed like that.
Yeah, they look nice.
Those will just be plain missiles. Oh, I just remembered a detail I wanted to put up here. I might start getting the basis for that down. But since the original version of Zeta had those, like, pods with the propellers on them that flew around, I want to create a spot where they could, like, deploy from on this version. And I think there's going to be, I guess, like, one set of them in each of the arms. And that's going to be, like, right here. So I'm going to start... Whoop,
Yeah.
Not that button. Start pulling this out. Are you familiar with Gundam at all?
Not very much. I
Yeah.
actually have I got a few models from a thrift store once, and I
Yep.
built some of them, but
Yep.
I've never watched the show. I haven't really watched... Actually, I did read one of them. I think it was Gundam... I don't remember. I don't remember the subtitle, but it was the one where instead of like a war, there was a contest between all the different nations to see who
Yep,
gets
that's
to for a year.
the Gundam G fighter. I forgot what it's called.
Gundam G.
Yeah.
Gundam G.
Something like that.
I'll just say Gundam G.
There's a
Mobile Fighter G Gundam. That's
Mobile
it.
Fighter
I
G
read-
Gundam.
I read-
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I read all the way through that one in middle school because they had the manga for it, and it was really fun. I liked it.
That's a very serious departure from the rest of the series. I need to give it a try at some point, though.
Yeah,
But
you
I
should, it's
asked
fun.
because what I'm trying to make right now is a design thing I've seen in a few of like the more serious Gundam designs where they have a shield and behind that shield it deploys, I think they're called fin funnels, and they're controlled by the pilot like psychically. So that's just what the little drones that Zeta has remind me of, and I wanted to like emphasize that by having this bit of design here. So
Yeah.
I want to pull that out more. Start, because it's supposed to be a pretty rounded shape. So, oops, not that. Pull it in into the back, into the top like that. Okay, something like that. And then there's gonna be a series of like holes poked into it that they deploy from. I think 6 on each tip should be enough.
Okay.
And then extrude that in. No, tighten their edges and then extrude them in. It's kind of alien-like in its shape, and that's kind of what I like about it. Okay, these two are bigger than the rest of them. And I think for now I'll leave something that I will later model into whatever I want these little drones to look like. Something like that. Okay, those up top are too small.
Yeah, that looks nice so far.
I'll add more detail to that later, but let's see how it looks. So, like, imagine, how many is that? 6, 12, 18, 24 of those deploying all at once to, like, act as, like, a more mobile version of the defense for this, like, slower moving machine.
Right.
You know what? I'm actually curious now. If that's 1 meter... Let's see, 1, 2, 3... I can't see that shit. Here I have an easier way of checking this quick. I'll just use an array modifier and see how many iterations it takes to make it to the top. Set that to 1 on the Z, 0 on the X. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11 meters tall. That's a pretty decent size. Because it wasn't like... super massive in Sonic 06, but it was like
Yeah.
kind of big and
It was
imposing,
big,
and
yeah.
that was like its thing. I think for the sake of making this a little easier, I am going to duplicate this, rename that to arms, and then I'm going to select this entire mesh, Control I to invert the selection, and then delete the vertices of the body. Go to the body mesh, select the body, invert it, and delete the arms. Now the body and the arms are their own separate mesh, and that should hopefully be easier. Alright, I'm going to, I think, keep working on the arms for now.
Alright.
Okay, let's see here. Let me look at the ref again. This, like, intricate, like, series of panels I plan on trying to replicate with some sort of bump map or normal map, because there's no way in hell I would model all of that. You save modeling that for, like, major pieces of detail. How the hell did this happen? Why do these look so fucking weird? Shit, come on. Maybe if I uncrease these, that might help it some. Let's see. Because it is supposed to go from a rounded shape to a blocky one. I am like doing that intentionally, but just like the way it's like currently lining up doesn't make any sense to me. Oops, wrong one. Don't want to hit that button. Save, because I don't know when the last time I did that was. Pardon me, I think it's allergy season.
Oh no.
It's alright, I don't get it anywhere near as bad as my fiance does. She's like choking 24/7.
Oh.
And allergy medication can only make that so much better. Maybe I'll just
hope
give
she's doing well.
She's alright.
If it is,
she's used to it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's maybe... I'm gonna add a little bit more detail to the missile pods here. I'm just looking at my time right now, and I'm thinking I am definitely not going to finish this today, but I can hopefully make a good chunk of progress in, and maybe at least get to texturing it by Wednesday, because I probably will not be working on this at all tomorrow.
Yeah. Modeling takes a while. It makes sense if you would.
Especially since this is me doing things that I have very little experience with.
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, I get what you mean. It's funny. A friend of mine remembered recently that I did models for Source for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asking if I could make a model of his female character. But the problem is I've never modeled a woman before, so I have no idea how that's gonna work.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I made a base body for myself that kind of evolved over time, depending on how I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
But, also, hello, Ao. Swordy here is making a model of a giant Eggman robot person thing.
Zeta, mixed with the Egg Genesis from Sonic 06. Thank you for coming.
Okay.
I keep forgetting that I need to be checking out the chat because I can't have it up next to my Blender window like I can when I'm playing Sonic Adventure.
Right.
Like having the chat there.
I don't see any timestamps, so I don't even know how long that's been there, but...
What?
It's there. I don't know how long that, the messages have been there, because I don't see it. Oh, no, they're recent, because, he's responding. He says, oh, cool.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Yep.
I guess going back to what I was saying. I could probably edit my base body that I made enough to where it'll look enough like a woman, so I can start, so I can really start working on the thing.
I took my model I made for my main OC Clayton, and I actually used that as the base to make the model for his mom, Gladia. And they have very different body types, so as long as I think you have a strong enough base there, you should be able to have it be one or the other like that.
Yeah, I think I'll be fine too.
Yep.
I just need to kind of plan out how I'm gonna do it.
I think that this like look with the spikes is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Okay, I think the only other thing I might want to add is that there's this like hexagon detail right there. I might just paste that into this design. What is it? I don't know. It just looks cool.
Maybe if it needs to... Oh,
I could
that
see
thing.
that
I
being
know
like a hatch into like the mechanism for the arm, and that's why it's on each of them.
Yeah.
Make those a little bigger. I made them too small. Now let's try that again. That's better. Get that like bit of detail there. And I guess I could add a couple of rivet looking things right here, since those are on the egg Genesis design. I'm not gonna have them going down the leg, the bottom part of the leg, like they do in that design, because I have this detail here. Actually, that could be... Maybe if I pull these back some, scale them in, and then do 2 more down here, and I can add pipes there later. Just have them not intersect with where the shield is supposed to emit from. Oh, I should turn this off because I'm having memory issues again. The fuck? Okay, that's not gonna work. Let's try that again. That's better. What in the goddamn? Why are you like this? There must be vertices too close together or something. The loop tools can't figure out how to make a good circle. That's better. Have that be a nice bit of, I guess, framing around that, and just a nice touch of a little more detail. There we go. I think that should be enough for the front of these for now. Okay, now to the back. Since this, like, glow around the edges feels similar to this glow in the center, maybe these just be how it, like, flies. So they're not like the robot spawners like they are in 06, but they'll have the same basic shape.
Yeah, there'll be little thrusters or something so that if they're folded off, they won't like bump into anything below them.
Because the Egg Genesis didn't need the legs to be able to fly, it did that on its own. It's like the whole point of the boss fight is you have to take out all of its legs, and then it has nothing to defend itself with, and the last thing it tries doing is flying into you. I did play far enough into 06 the one time I did to get to that boss fight, so it's funny because you fight that boss fight as Silver too, and in Sonic's boss fight you're meant to homing attack chain your way up the leg and then ground pound on its head. In the Silver boss fight you're supposed to pick things up and throw them into the glowing bit on like the chest of it or whatever, or the bottom side. But for some reason you could hit that as Sonic too.
Oh.
Yep. which makes the boss fight easier because you don't have to waste time trying to climb up the legs. And it does damage in basically the same way.
Right.
It's strange. And if you have the bounce bracelet, you can get enough height to get in there anyway, so...
Oh.
I remember hearing from some people that when they first got to this boss fight, they just thought that's how you were supposed to attack it, because it's the first thing that you see when you fight it that looks like something you're supposed to attack.
You know, I could probably see that. I'll admit, I have not seen that boss fight myself, but I could... If there's a big shiny thing on the bottom of the boss as opposed to the top, chances are you'd probably go after the thing on the bottom first because it's quicker.
Yep. That's just bad boss design. If you... Well, I mean, I guess if they programmed it correctly and, like, you're not supposed to hit it as Sonic, I guess that would still be bad boss design, because you'd be like, well, this looks like something I'm supposed to be able to do damage to. Why can't I do damage to it, you know? And then you'll find out you're supposed to hit his head, but it looks like you're supposed to be able to hit his chest. And I guess... I don't think I've ever seen anybody try to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if when you fight that boss as Silver, if you were to get something that does damage to hit its head, it probably would do damage too. Like, they use the same boss coding for both, and both of them can take damage. They just didn't account for the fact that Sonic can jump that high. And he can homing attack up in that game. Still think it's really strange that he can homing attack up in that game.
Yeah, they figured it'd be a horizontal thing.
Nope.
Homing attack, but apparently...
I don't remember if that was a deliberate design choice or not. Like him being able to homing attack up. It makes it very easy to hit homing attack chains above you, which leads me to believe that because they design... Excuse me. If they design, like, homing attack-able things that are above Sonic, like, I would have to assume, yeah, you are supposed to be able to homing attack up like that. It just...
Right.
It just makes it, like, less interesting to try and attack things that way, I guess.
Because it's way easier to do at that point.
It's not to say that game is easy. It's not. It's like weirdly challenging in so many ways. It's just one thing that's like you've already like established that he can't homing attack up, and now all of a sudden he can. Because like in Sonic Adventure 2 and Heroes, he can't do that. I'm just trying to add a bit more, like, I guess, mass to the back of this leg, but I don't know what even this, like, bit should be, and I think I'm actually going to get rid of it entirely and do something different for this. Pull that in and delete it. Stitch it back up again. Oh, the normals are facing the wrong way. I'll fix that in a little bit. Oh, it's because I picked the wrong vertices. Let me hide that too. That's what I'm looking for. Hide that as well, just to keep that from happening again. That's the vertices I'm looking for. And, oh, forgot to add this back in here. For people who are getting started with Blender and you have maybe hit the H key on accident and like thought you maybe deleted part of your mesh on accident, try hitting Alt H before saying you need to model that bit again, because you may have just hidden it on accident. I've done that before. And like back when I didn't know what like had just happened.
Well, that's news to me. I'll keep
Yep,
that in mind.
hitting H when you're in edit mode will hide geometry you have selected. Which is helpful if you're trying to model around things. Oh shit. Didn't want to do that. Alright, I need to do this differently than I am. That looks better than what I had before, I think. But it's a little crooked, damn it. Let me see how this looks now if I just try adding detail to it. Okay. Don't want it sticking out the front like that, but I'll leave that for now. Just delete the geometry you can't see later. I think that'll suffice for now. Okay, just get rid of that. Maybe put a little bit of something here. Don't know what that is, but it looks interesting. Okay, I think the legs are coming along real nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to stop working on it and just like look around at it to make sure everything is working the way you thought it did when you put it there. I could maybe... Oh, I deleted part of it though. Just get rid of this and I can maybe repurpose it as the first hinge for the... Nope, don't want to do that. Turn that off. Hello.
Hello there.
Who have we here? Mike, welcome. And just to make sure you
Hello
are
there,
aware,
Mike.
I am streaming on Twitch right now.
I am well aware.
Alright. Just didn't want there to be any issues with that.
I came to talk while watching you make robots.
A
Yes.
bridge. Now I have the start of the major hinge joint that will connect this to the body. Let me turn snap to geometry back on, or snap to grid back on.
So how much did you got of Mr. Zeta done?
Well, you could check the stream to see. I'm still working on the arms right now. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this today like I had originally thought. But that's okay.
He's like, help me, I have no arms.
He's all arm. What are you talking about? The bridge is out! Just trying to make this look vaguely hinge-like.
The hinge is better, it's just smashy.
After I get the large chunk of this done, I'll start working on the body. Like more than just like the simple geometry I have already for it. Now I need to think of what the best way to have these connect to the body will be. And I think I might actually go back to the body here and make these not square, but have them be circular.
It could work.
Make these, like, also vaguely hinge-like. It's coming together. I think it's coming together. Let me try tightening these up. There we go.
Yeah, I know a friend who also makes models mostly for 3D printing.
That's a whole different process. Because you have to consider how it's going to print and stuff like that. Like, I don't think I have the modeling technical skill to be able to do something like that. It's connected! There we go.
Hey.
I'm debating whether or not I want to put an extra hinge in there or have it just be like this, because I think, yeah, in the Egg Genesis itself, it is just a single hinge. And then they have, like, it has, like, extra mini little leg-looking things that come out from under the bottom of it. Oh, that looks not good. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah, it looks fine from the top. Just pull that down. That's better. You know, I think instead of having it like just directly connect to the hinge, I think I'll have them be separate. I need to hide these to be able to see.
Now.
Okay, and then do that to the other side. Unhide these and have these maybe. Oh, I know. Shift D to duplicate, make them bigger, and then they're like wrapped around these hinges. And I have backface culling enabled in this drop-down setting for this purpose. It lets me see where my normals are facing. It looks strange like that because this is some math principle that I honestly don't understand, but the like outside faces are inside, so I do not Control N, Shift N, and that fixes it. They're in the inside now. So if your mesh is looking strange and you don't know why, make sure you have backface culling enabled in your viewport settings. It only works in, what's this called, viewport shading. So you need to enable it in viewport shading for that to work, but once you have it enabled, it'll let you see things like that happening in your mesh. Okay.
Right. Funny, I actually had a workaround for that type of thing before I found out what that actually was, the backface culling and whatnot. So, when I made source models, I guess it actually takes that backface culling into account, because sometimes when I made a model, the textures would still show up, but they wouldn't look quite right. And I found out quickly that was because the textures were on the inside of the model rather than the outside.
Yep.
Like, it was a subtle difference, but it was big enough to where, oh, that looks wrong.
When I made models in Source, I'm pretty sure, like, I can't imagine what that looks like, but I can, like, sort of visualize what you're saying.
So, to get around it, I never found out about what I did to get around it, basically, was I added an extra line of code in the VMTs, which is the...
Yep.
For those who don't know, it's the thing that tells the model what model to... it tells the model what texture to grab and where to put it, and as well as all the extra stuff like lighting and all that fun stuff. And it was basically an extra bit of code that made it so that the texture would appear on both sides of the model.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Not the best solution, but it worked.
Wouldn't that like introduce like a bit of extra lag because it's technically rendering it twice? I'm guessing is what the issue with that was.
It would, but I never noticed it personally. I just didn't really think about it that hard.
Yep.
And I did figure out the proper way to fix it later, and that would have solved that little extra bit of thing. But yeah, that was how I fixed it back then before I found out, hey, just have the turtle's face outside, dingus.
Yep.
Anyway.
I used to make models for Source 2.
Yeah,
It's been so long since I've done it that I basically don't know how to do it anymore. And like, I'm not making models for other people to use anyway, so like...
Yeah.
Which probably means I'm doing a lot of things incorrectly, but like, because I know how I made the model, I know how to work around that sort of thing.
Yeah. And you know what? That's totally fine.
Yep.
I still remember how to do it. It's not really... You don't really have to change the way you model too much. It's just... let me list all the difference I can think of off the top of my head right now. So, for source models, at least for Gmod, for some reason it doesn't fuss about this in Source Filmmaker, but I never worked with Source Filmmaker much anyway, so I didn't care. Vertices can only be attached to, I believe, 3 bones maximum, so easiest way to do that would just be to highlight the whole thing, limit it to 3, and it still looked about the same whenever you moved it, for me personally, so not a huge deal there. And then I used a program called Crowbar. No, I'm jumping ahead of it. Then you needed to write a bit of code called I just call it a QC file, which is essentially the blueprints telling the compiler what parts to grab and how to put them together. Also you had to export everything in either SMD or DMX, which DMX is actually a lifesaver for me because the difference between SMD and DMX. Doggy impression.
Fuck, you don't know who DMX is? The rapper? Rest in peace.
That guy.
Keep rolling,
yes.
rolling.
I've only heard the one song, but yes, I have heard of him. But okay, so SMD is essentially just the model by itself. Nothing fancy. Just here's the bones, here's the rigging. Bleh. What SMD does is it also includes any facial animations you include with it, like the I always call them flexes.
That's what I always called them too. I don't know what they're called aside from that.
I think they're called vertexes and No, vertex is the point. I don't know. I'll call them flexes. But what DMX would do is it would include the flexes with the model. So normally you'd have to have a separate file that just has the facial animations, and you have to apply that separately in the QC. And you have to write out lines for every single bit of expression, every single expression you need to make for the model. But with the DMX file, that's basically all done for you, so it saves a lot of time writing the QC file.
I can imagine.
So, yeah. Then you just write out, you still have to write out things like the physics of it, like how each joint moves, how heavy the model is, what type of material it's made of, like, is it made of flesh? Is it made of metal? That type of thing.
I only ever made models for Source Filmmaker, so that part right there I distinctly recall having no clue how to do and never touching it. Whenever somebody wanted a model for Gmod, I would usually just be like, hey, could you do this for me? And then they would make it, like, on their own, Yeah.
I will admit, I never had to thankfully, I found out that I could just take like a standard Half-Life model and just grab the data from that and just change a few things to match what I'm doing. So after the QC is done and after everything's in place, that's when you open up a program. I think I always use a program called Crowbar, which it's sort of an all-in-one tool. It can compile models, it can decompile models, it can do all sorts of stuff. But you basically, at that point, I would just have Crowbar point to the QC that I just made, and Crowbar would put them all together. And assuming there were no issues or it didn't have anything to say about it or any problems, it would export the model in a folder that would designate just to keep everything organized. And from there, it was just a matter of getting the textures together, which I'm sure you get this part, but for those who don't know, textures in Source are made up of 2 parts. The VTF file, which is the texture itself, the picture, and the VMT file, which is the coding for the texture. I mentioned it earlier when I was talking about how I fixed the occlusion issue. But, yeah, I write one for each of the textures that are on the model, and then I put them in a folder, make sure they're all in such a way that everything's in one folder and everything's in the right paths so that the VMTs can find the model and vice versa, yada yada. And from there, it's just a matter of actually sticking it in the game and testing it, making sure everything works.
Ayo, you're going
Most of the
ham
time
in
it
the
did,
chat.
and
What the
sometimes it
fuck? Are the only one who's never played 06? You're not missing much, honestly.
You're not alone.
The only
I've
thing
only
you're
ever
missing
played
is Hatsid the
Project
Pigeon.
06.
Rest in peace, Hatsid the Pigeon. Never to be seen again.
Wait, what?
Sonic 06 had NPCs, right? And they were like gross because they were realistic looking humans, and Sonic was just Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
But among the humans, there were also animals. Not Sonic style animals, just real animals.
Really?
Hatsid the Pigeon was one of them. You would go up to talk to him and it would just go coo, like a pigeon.
Oh,
Yep.
that's adorable.
I think there was a
Yeah.
dog and a cat too. The irony of there being a cat is that Blaze the Cat is in that game. Like, it's like they can't even decide how they want their own, like, animals in their universe to work. It's just strange. But Hatsid the Pigeon is
Yeah.
great because you literally just walk up to him, you can talk to him and all he says is coo.
Yes.
I don't even, like, he's not relevant to anything. He doesn't give you a side mission like some of the NPCs in that game do. He just sits in Soliana City and he just like flaps his wings and goes coo.
That is amazing.
Yep. It's strange.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't seen anybody try to make
How long is
art
Sudi
of
now?
Hey, you can't have your mic on though. That's all good.
Yes, you can just sit and listen to us forever.
Meanwhile, I'm still here. It's just that I'm just listening to all this techno jargon. This is me on no mic.
Source modeling can be kinda crazy.
It's
Yeah.
Source Filmmaker is a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends that are pretty good at it.
No. Gmod is more of a clusterfuck than Source.
You're
Filmmaker
right.
because
Source
physics
Filmmaker
for
isn't much better
physics are
though.
Gmod. Yeah.
It's only slightly better because you don't have to worry about programming the physics of every model you create.
And because of that, you don't have to worry about those occasional times where you'll spend all this time making a model, you'll make sure everything works, it compiles, it's great, you import it in the game, you spawn it in Gmod, and it just collapses to the floor and falls apart. Like,
Yep.
the parts of the body aren't even attached. It's like everything just falls apart. It's awful. And you can never tell what causes it for like 10 minutes.
Or you try to import your model for the first time and it instantly crashes Gmod. That happened to me a lot.
Yes! That too. Oh my god.
That's why, like I said, if somebody wanted one of my old models in Gmod, I would just hold on a second.
Like, oh, hold on. Let me call my friend here who knows more about that than I ever will. Thank you. But yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, I have a couple friends who do that, and I definitely need to one day commission someone to do a couple of models.
Headphones
for me.
back on. Normally my mailman will hit the ringer. I guess somebody else let him into the apartment this time.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of mail, I actually got something early that I was expecting in like 2 hours, but it's here now.
Oh hell yeah!
And, there was no doorbell. There was no nothing. Just it was there, and my mom had found it first and had to grab and grabbed it for me. I don't know what the hell happened, but it's here now. So yeah.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna be a little self-absorbed right now. I think this detail on this face is looking real good.
Oh, that looks great. Yeah.
I
love
think
the
what
pipe-
I
love the
might
little pipes.
do for these eyes, not these in the center, but the big ones, is make the rounded part a separate piece that'll be glass, but underneath it there will be multiple separate cameras. You know?
Okay.
You know what? That actually just reminded me. I should see if I could find this quick. I'm gonna...
Yeah.
You won't be able to
Only
see
thing
it
I'll
just
say-
yet, but I'll be looking up something.
Yeah. Only thing I'll say really quick is that I think like outside of those extra cameras you mentioned in the glass, I think that's perfect. I think that's a perfect amount of detail for that face model there. I don't
Because
think
I'm
we
not
can do
making
more.
this for a game, in which case you might
Oh,
want to make that like a
no,
texture or
no.
something to save on memory. Okay, is this sprite in here?
It's just my personal opinion is all.
No, no, that makes sense.
Thing.
Is this
But
really...
yeah.
I'm trying to find something to show on stream here for a second, but... Okay, that's the game I'm looking for. The sprite better be in here, damn it.
I also remember another person I know that he does a lot of source filmmaking, movie making.
Alright, I found it. I'm going to switch what my Twitch stream is showing for a second here. So I found this on Spriter's resource. I'll just show this quick. Let me see. This was uploaded by Paramon on Spriter's resource for Sonic and Knuckles, but this is the sprite for the first part of the final boss of that game, and if you see, like, it has the two beady eyes, and one of them has multiple cameras in it, and the other one is just like a single eye. Now, because of the way the mirror modifier works in Blender, I might not be able to do it like that, but I'll see how it looks when it's symmetrical first, but I just wanted to show this off. Okay, back to Blender.
That'll be super helpful.
So, I might just model that now, actually. Let me see if I
Yeah.
remember how to do this. I should be able to separate this within edit mode. Separate, selection.
And okay. A little off topic here, but the package I got, a friend of mine got me a pair of he got himself and me a pair of headphones that are kind of matching, just for fun, and because we kind of do headphones anyway. And I'm looking at the packaging. It's kind of cringy how I'll say this because they are focusing very hard on streamers. You got like literally the card that comes with it says, "Take your style to the next level." When it comes to streaming, looking good for your audience is part of the fun. That's why we made a headset that sounds great, feels awesome. They're focusing so hard on streamers, it's painful. I hate it. But,
It's a little
you know
funny,
what?
though.
Fine. Yes. And you know what? Fucking, in case you're wondering, it's the Razor Kraken Kitty Edition because he thought it'd be funny if we looked at cat.
That
voice.
is funny.
Yes.
I have a
And
pair of
apparently
just
it's not
like
good
really
for
weird, janky headphones that the brand is literally Nubwo. Their
Whoa.
Nubwo is the brand name. I think
What?
it's I don't know. They're just called Nubwo. They sound really good in my computer though, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. I'll say
Yeah.
this too. I'm kind of glad that nobody that opened the package.
Yeah, that's
If
always
they did, they
nice.
would have so many questions. Okay, so I actually got sent another package. Sometimes my friends send me stuff as a joke. And back when FNAF Security Breach was super popular, this is USB. Oh, that's kind of lame, but whatever, it's fine. Anyways, one of my friends wanted to get me the Monty the Monty character from
Yep.
Security Breach FNAF, and it arrived early, just like this one did. In fact, I think all my items actually arrived earlier than the time stated, but whatever. My sister got a hold of it first.
Uh-oh.
And she opened it and saw what was inside.
That's a
so
felony.
When she came to... Yeah. I mean, I mean, we all live together, so I guess I don't know. It's,
No.
It's still,
technically, that's
rude,
still
though.
a felony, but go off.
Yeah. Fucking.
I'm not. It's not that big a deal. I just felt like
Yeah.
mentioning that is technically a felony.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, she opened it, saw what was inside, and then came to me and went, Why did your friend order you a toy? She looked so confused, and I had to just sit there and explain. They said it to me as a joke, and it looks nice, so
All right.
just give me the thing and don't just. Again, I'm glad it was my mom that ended up catching the package and not her, because she would have opened this one too, I bet. And she would have had so many questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have no response to that.
Nor should you. No, I'm kidding.
All right, back to
But,
the what's going on stream. I got the basic idea
Yes,
for these
please,
like
continue.
cameras down.
Yes.
They're all like different
Yeah.
sizes. That I think that's the ticket right there. My idea being that the glass pieces that cover them will make them harder to see at a distance, but like more obvious up close. So like
I gotta say that about the eyes. I'm just looking at all the multiple eyes behind those cameras, and he's just like, "Hey kids, I can see sound."
he probably could. He's got Daredevil vision. Oh. Spotify's just playing whatever it feels like, I guess. Hold on.
Yes.
Get off the... That mailman coming woke up my cats. Now they're going to be bitches. Oh, I know. I can play YouTuber music. I'm sure that won't get me in shit.
You know what? Find the stupid ukulele song and just play that on repeat forever.
Like I'm trying to sell something on Kickstarter.
Yes.
I'll play Andrew Huang's music. I'm sure that won't be an issue. That's a
I've never heard of
vibe.
Andrew Huang before.
YouTuber musician. I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking over it. It's not like I'm trying to pirate his music or whatever.
Yes.
Right now, I think some of these need a more detail to make them all not look like they're just duplicates of themselves at different sizes. Just need to figure out what to do to make them look different, you know?
But I bring it resolutely. Crash every computer, then I fill up all the loose leaf. Next caliber, I manifest the new speeds. You can pull Excalibur, you never put it through me. Diamond shine, it might be best under pressure. I make mint when I spit. Breath has never been fresher, so let me elevate, illuminate, fluorescent professor, giving you lessons till you're doing Kessel Run through the Kessler. I was forged in Jupiter's storms. I fought with Hercules.
It kind of looks like a GameCube controller now. Just a little bit.
It does a little bit.
I'm gonna keep it that way. Fuck it. I like that. Just say that it's like part of whatever that specific camera's function is. Now what do I do with this last one? Because I don't want to just leave it plain like that. Maybe I try beveling it. My microphone's in the way of my keyboard. I can't tell if I'm hitting the right key. Oh, it bevels like that. Kitty, get off. Get off. Go back to sleep. That was way better when you were asleep. Oh, I didn't think it would do that. Wait a minute. Is this isn't already beveled, is it? It is. When did it? How did it end up like that? Okay, let me try doing that. Yeah, I think I'll just leave that one kind of plain looking. I think that'll fit that one better. And I like how I was able to connect these tubes into the eye like that. Give it a bit of more reason to exist, I guess. And maybe model this up some so it... Oh, that's gonna mess up the roundness. I think I'll just leave that. I don't know. Maybe I should give the back of the head a bit of detail so it's not so basic looking. Yeah, just a little ridge like that, so it's not...
Oh.
Well, I guess the
Oh, this is
E-100
a-
robots have a bit of a ridge on the back of their head, so it would make sense.
Yeah. Also, to answer your question, AO, there's nothing wrong with collecting action figures. It's just,
I do that, fuck.
I don't know. Yeah, I would too if I could afford it, but
I would do it more if
I
I could
don't know.
afford it too, yeah.
yeah. But apparently my sister thinks otherwise. But hey, she's got a weird. Everyone in my family has their weird things. I don't see why. Yeah, whatever.
Give it a little bit of the thing back there. Also, to answer your question about the music, I don't know when you asked that, but beforehand we were listening to the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack, and now we're listening to music by Andrew Huang from YouTube. He makes his own music. I just have a little playlist I made of songs of his that I enjoy. Yeah, so it's a bit of a combination of Zeta, or the E100 series in general, and the Egg Genesis. Just getting that nice mechanical detail in there, which I won't be covering with a panel of glass like I did on my Silver Sonic model, because I think the way that Blender does glass with the shading, it's kind of hard to see that sort of thing. I'm going to stop working on the head for a bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to call that done yet, but I want to maybe start giving the body a bit more attention right now. At the very least, giving this head something that resembles a, like, groove to sit in.
Nice.
Yeah, giving it a little cavity to exist in. Alright, so a key detail that I think makes something resemble a E100 series relic robot is some sort of exhaust pipe. Now, Egg Genesis has these searchlights that I think is like their whole thing is mostly for Silver's version of the boss fight, if I remember correctly, but if you step within the light that they emit, they spawn more robots. So maybe I could find a way to do both exhaust pipes and searchlights. Like the exhaust pipes come out of the top, the searchlights out of the bottom. So I might start building out the body some by doing that.
Oh god, this is such a dumb picture. I'm reading through the instruction manual of my my headphones. They have this thing built in called cosplay mode.
Oh,
Where-
what the fuck?
Well, okay, so basically what you do is you charge up your headphones from your computer,
Yep.
or I guess change settings or whatever. Then you unplug it, and then you're supposed to press and hold a button on the bottom, and then plug the headset itself into a portable charger. While you're holding the button, then release it.
It's one of those things.
It's supposed to help keep the lighting, like, because the whole point is that the ears light up, right?
Oh, okay.
They light
They're
up, they
like they're
change
like
tones,
hella
and
light
apparently
up
they can-
headphones. Yeah.
Yeah, they can. Apparently, they can even like react to like Twitch donations or any sort of thing that happens.
So you can like program them. Yeah.
That's what these are made for. Yeah, and you could just walk around with these in public.
Reminds
You
me
don't have to be
of.
listening to anything. It's just
I saw that some company sold. It was a It was like I think the guy who was reviewing it like just called it a wearable toy, and I guess that makes sense. But it's like a helmet that's like Optimus Prime from how he looked in the Bumblebee movie, not the Michael Bay ones. And that one had the option where you could plug USB into it and then into like a wall adapter, and you could sit it there and you could use it as a Bluetooth speaker. But if you plugged a like portable battery into it, you could just walk around as a Bluetooth speaker with like you're just Optimus Prime's head, but you're a Bluetooth speaker.
Right.
But it also had its own like, it would say Optimus Prime lines as well, and the mouth would move.
Yeah, this is such a like this is such a dumb pair of headphones, but I still love it. It's so stupid, but hey, you know, whatever. I'll use them. They're my old one. I'll be honest, the covers on the little ear cushions on my old one, all the leather covering is just gone. They still work fine.
Yeah,
but it's like
I had a pair of headphones like that. They still worked. It's just you couldn't wear them because they would disintegrate on your ears.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably keep these Bluetooth ones around that I have right now if I want to, like, I don't know, exercise or something, because whatever. But yeah, I think I need to. At the very least, I need a new pair of headphone cushions because these ones, the leather cover disintegrated. But yeah, it's whatever. I'll be right back again. I'm gonna get a drink.
Okay. So I think I am going to try having there be smokestacks on the top of these and then searchlights on the bottom. Although, I guess the one issue with them coming out of the top is that it would be difficult for, like, Zeta to see because it already has to look around the, like, top parts of its arms to be able to scan around it. And then I guess you could reasonably assume that its bottom has cameras too. Maybe it only has smokestacks out of the sides and then searchlights everywhere else. I think I'm going to do that instead. Have smokestacks out of this side and then searchlights out of these two sides. Although, if I do that, yeah, it's going to have to go straight up if I want to do it like that. I'd have to... I guess I could make it a separate model. I might do that, yeah. Let me make sure the chat's nothing new there. Just give it a bit of something to frame it, I guess you could say. And I'm going to do that on the bottom of these two. Maybe these go out and the top ones go in. No, the bottom ones are going to go in too. More mechanical detail will come, but I think as a separate mesh, so I can keep the mirror modifier on this, I will make the smokestacks a separate thing. Let's get another, oh, not a curve, a cylinder in here. Oh, I don't want to move it like that. I gotta go into edit mode. Everything needs to have the same origin for when you want to put a armature on it, so it's important for everything to be oriented at the center. And in edit mode, you don't change the origin of your object, you just... I don't know how to describe it. Alright.
You know what, BRB, but I'm back.
It's alright. So I'm making the smokestacks as a separate mesh so I can... Hey, get off! Get off! Kitty, get down! Get down! Get out of here! Out! Alright. You stay there, or you leave. Make up your mind.
Is that a spray bottle I heard?
They don't listen if you don't do that.
Fair enough.
They actually do not even really... I think they hate the hissing noise more than they hate being sprayed, so like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. but I
By the
can't
way,
hiss myself because that doesn't work, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I ever own a cat, I will keep that in mind. If you
Yep.
a spray bottle handy.
Works on dogs too, I believe. I think for the same for a
that's
similar
even better.
reason too.
Oh, I could think of 2 out of my 3. I could think of 2 out of the 3 family dogs. I would very happily use a super sucker on if they misbehaved.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them puppies.
Fuck the puppy. Suddenly John Wick comes in.
Yes. I said fuck him, don't kill him. And he's just
Okay, you need to
Please.
stop right now. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Oh, that looks terrible. Let me turn the crease off on that and then do this. Yeah, just a smokestack, because Eggman is not eco-friendly at all.
No, he is not.
Ying. Pollute the planet.
I designed this floor to never get dirty. It doesn't need to be mopped. Keeping some of the classic E-100 series design ideas here, though. Jesus fucking Christ, that song startled me. Checking the chat. Yep.
I'll be right back for a little bit.
Alright. That's better. Now they look like this thing kind of looks like a truck now, just a little bit. It wasn't going for that, but I think I'm gonna keep that. And then I wanted to do maybe like this actually. Even though this thing is like animal powered or whatever, I don't know why it has exhaust pipes, but the exhaust pipes look cool. Angle this differently. I wasn't liking the way that looked before. Oh, shit. I forgot to undo the duplicate. There we go. That's why that looked weird. Oh, shit. What the hell? Why is it, like, tapered at the top like this? That's better. I think what this needs is to be fully, like, 90 degrees like that for it to look better. And then... that's better. For now, no, take the creases off of that. Maybe pull this forward some. No. That'll work. Maybe, and then I can try doing this. And pull that down. And that too. Yeah, but I think I just remembered there's more detail I wanted to add to it that I'm gonna duplicate. It's better to have all the detail done and then duplicate it. I am gonna change the music again. I'm just gonna search on Spotify music for streaming and see what comes up.
Oh boy!
So I can stop thinking about it. Music for streaming. Hype streaming music. Sure.
Like, fuck yeah! Polygons, vertexes.
Yeah, this is
Holy
probably for
shit.
gaming streaming, but no. Slow art stream with the thumping dubstep? Fuck yeah. Alright, so in this design, they have studs around the rims of them here, which I want to recreate, so... get that bit of detail going, and then should be able to do this radially, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's going to be a bitch texture, but maybe I'll just leave that like that and add the duplicates later when I want to texture it, but I want to see, because I was thinking of maybe having the other smokestack like on the bottom of it, like this. Oh shit, I forgot to duplicate it. Okay, that music's a little too loud. I'm going to turn that down. Kind of have it like that. Or maybe the double on the top would be better. I'm not sure. I will play with that later because I'll definitely want to texture that before I duplicate it to save me time later on. I'm gonna have to stop streaming here soon, so I'm gonna try and think of what little I can do to do before I wrap up the stream. Because I want to keep this all consistent and I'll know where I left off when I start streaming again. Maybe just the one, like, exhaust pipe is all it needs. I think the one exhaust pipe might be all it needs. And I'm deciding that I do not like the bent tailpipe like that, so I'm going to get rid of that and just make it again. Yeah, I guess the last thing I'm going to be doing on this model today is working on these exhaust pipes.
Yeah, seems like a fitting way to finish things off.
Yep. Oops, shit, not that far. What the hell happened? Okay, there we go. Like that, and then down, like that. And then merge at center to close it up and just pull it down further so it looks like it's deeper than it is. That's, I think, a better look than what I had before. Maybe I will, to keep in with how it looks in the screenshot there, I will actually just have these pointing down like it is in the game. No, because I want spotlights down there, so I'll leave them facing upward like that. Let's just say these are the catalytic converters, and if Zeta gets too close to Detroit, those would be the first things that people will try to steal off his ass. I do think I made pretty good progress today on this though, so hopefully it'll be even better when I work on it again more on hopefully Wednesday. I'm hoping nothing comes up and I'll have to cancel my plans to stream on Wednesday.
I gotcha.
So let me just mess around with giving this a bit more detail near the limbs before I call it quits for the day. Kitty? I don't even know what you're picking at. That's a blank wall. up so high. No, that's gonna look like crap. Maybe just out of the sides I could do something like this. No. That's not gonna work. Maybe just leave that as those like nondescript bumps on the surface. Maybe I could try to give these just a little bit more detail. Should probably hide the arms. That'll make it easier. And then bring them back for a second just to see how that fits. That looks like it'll work. Let me see how this looks. Not too bad. I'm gonna keep that, yeah. Just highlight them a little more. So I think starting next stream I will definitely... You know what? Let me get the searchlights in now, and I'll probably only just have to finish adding major details to like the
Anyway, as much as I want to stay, I have to skedaddle, so you all
Okay.
take care.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Sorry I didn't talk much.
You're okay. Don't worry about it. No, I gotta do that out of this mesh if that's gonna be how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try getting at least the idea of the searchlights in before I finish for the day. So they're like, they come out of the body from like little arms. So I need to narrow these up some. And then they're on like little ball joints. So that they can look pretty much everywhere. Okay, this might be an issue with the way I have this modifier set up, but I will still try. Excuse me.
You're excused.
No. These will become spheres when I add them to this mesh. I'm just trying to hopefully set them up in a way where I will have to do as little to them as possible, like once they're on the mesh. So I think I want the balls to be that size. Set origin to 3D cursor. Actually no, I do want to do it like that, because then I can do it like this. No. Well, why is it not? What is it supposed to? Oh, normal. That's why it's not working. Okay, back to top view. That's what I'm looking for. Oops, don't want to be in texture mode. We don't have textures yet. Now, if I add it to this, they should be... they're not as ball-like as I was hoping. Actually, if I just give them the extra geometry and then do smooth vertices, not subdivide, smooth vertices, make them a little more ball-like. I might have to do, I might have to do, yeah, I'm gonna have to do like loop tools to like actually make these balls, but I'll leave them like that for now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
I will say, I'm very happy to see that you're putting the same amount of effort in your balls as the Red Dead developers were into their horses' balls.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Oh, Red Dead Redemption.
Yes.
I didn't hear that
Yes.
part. I thought you were
Yeah,
talking about
the-
something else.
Yeah,
I forgot
the
about
thing
that. I
was,
don't
I'm
own
glad-
that game, so
I don't either. I just remember, for some reason, I guess because haha funny, people were freaking out about the horse balls in that game, and how they were super reactive to like the weather and stuff.
unnecessary
why.
but interesting attention to detail.
Yeah, like, okay,
You
good,
really
good
don't
job.
like. You really
Right
didn't
then.
need to do that.
Why? Why did you do it? More importantly, why are people freaking out over it? Well, actually, I know why people are freaking out over it, but whatever.
Because people could be a little too sensitive at times.
Yes. Well, they were.
There
they
are-
were angry about it. They were like, that was like the most exciting thing for like a week.
People freaking out about
Good,
the horse nuts and
Yeah,
Red Dead.
Yeah. Yep. People loved it. Like it was all people would talk about for like a solid week, apparently.
Ew. Y'all
Then
need to
again,
stop
this is from
obsessing over
someone who
horse
never played
nuts.
Red Dead, so yeah. I don't know, man.
I think they're all just closeted furries, and they want to prove to everybody that they're totally not a furry.
Mm-hmm. It's like, look, these are attached to an actual horse, so it's fine, right? Right?
No. Not that one. That one. Creating the concavity where the floodlight will end up being. Let me see how this looks. Nope, not like that, like that. Try to get the searchlights themselves, at least the idea of where I want them to be. Alright. I think I'm gonna stop modeling for now. Let me look at the Twitch chat quick, make sure I didn't miss anything.
Nope. Last couple of comments were this music and lol.
Yep. Alright, well, I think I made a pretty good progress.
Oh yeah, you did great.
And I could maybe at least get this textured by the end of next stream. Rigging it shouldn't be super complicated since robots are easier to rig and I'm not like trying to get pistons in there, which would be nice, but I just like absolutely have no idea how to do that. So I am going to be leaving this until we stream again. So this should hopefully look the same as it does here. I will try not to work on this off stream so that everything that I like do to it is something you guys get to watch as it happens. So I'll center it on frame here. and give it a save. And now, if I just don't touch the file again until next stream, it'll be exactly like this at the start of next stream. But I got 5 minutes before I really want to call it done, so it is kind of spider-like, isn't it? Although, like I think I mentioned before, it doesn't actually walk on these legs in Sonic 06. It hovers the entire time. You know, just for fun, maybe I'll pull up footage of the Egg Genesis fight, just so we can all watch it a little bit before I call the stream done. So let me turn off this music and switch my source to my desktop. Don't want to listen to the battle theme. What the fuck? That's not official. I guess this should be fine. Sonic JGB's video on it. I'll turn down the volume some. But, yep, so the arms, or I guess they're separate entities in this, and they have, like, antennas on them.
Me with just your size? Come on, let's see what you can do.
I don't think whoever's making this video, I guess we'll have to see if they're going to try to kill it the legitimate way or the cheat way. Because that red orb there is low enough where you can jump up and hit it. But yeah, you're supposed to fight it this way. Yep, and then you ground pound the head, and then it, for some reason, even though you didn't attack the arm, attacking the head makes the arm explode. I completely forgot that, unless this is like a modded version of like the PC like port that one person's making. Oh, yep, he's showing that too. Yep, just you can attack it from there too, and then it shoves you up through the machine.
Yeah.
That's not
I
intentional.
don't think this is Project 06. Usually whenever
I think this is from 2015. That was before Project 06. So this is they're recording off of their Xbox or PS3.
Yeah.
So you gotta show the first hit as the legitimate way just for demonstration purposes, and then you can beat it the easy way.
I will say, apparently a lot of people like to play Sonic 06 on an emulator with a bunch of mods installed in as well to make
Probably
the game
because
a bit
that
more
could like
playable.
polish up the game some.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then Project 06 came, and it's like, hey, let me do all that, but better.
And it's just built in, so you don't have to worry about like lag and shit.
It's great.
I think I might have not even made this thing big enough, because it seems like it's way bigger. I love how he's walking so slowly because it takes forever to hit the ground. You barely even saw it explode. And like, it's not like that attack is an insta-kill, it just makes you lose rings when it touches you. But yeah, that's the Sonic version of the boss fight. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call that it for the stream today. So thank you to everybody who came in and keeping the chat alive, mainly you, AOX. Much appreciated. You Span Pog Champs and Lulz and Scaredy Cats and Ryu Champ. Gotta keep that spirit alive.
Typical standard Twitch tradition, I'm guessing.
Yep. What I really wish I had was a second monitor. It'd be way easier for me to keep up with chat if I did, but I don't have space for a second monitor or money for a second monitor, so make do with what I can. Maybe I can find a way to watch both of them. But yeah, so I guess next stream I will hopefully finish this model, and then after finishing this model, I will go back to Sonic Adventure. But yeah, thank you all again for being here. Thank you to you, Mr. Komobungus, for being here. And even though they aren't here, thank you to Sooty Dino or Flo and Mike for stopping into the VC. Yep, so just like my gameplay ones, the raw file for this stream will be going on my YouTube channel hopefully later today. Yeah. Alright. That's it. All done. Peace out.
Bye.